Hey guys, this is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Welcome back to our breakdown series for the Space Wolves in Ninth Edition. I've gone through several of the named dreadnoughts, Ragnar, some Fenrisian wolves, and today I'm going to be telling you about the core of my army, the backbone of every list I make. I start every list with 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I love these things, especially for Space Wolves, and I'll get into why they are kind of unique for Space Wolves in a couple certain aspects. So today I'm going to be talking about their fluff and background, their statistics, their upgrades, what you can arm them with, stratagems that work well for them, and just general tactics that I use on the battlefield. So let's dig right into the background story of the Redemptor Dreadnought. Designed by the Archmagos Belisarius Cawl at the behest of Primarch Gulliman many centuries ago, the mighty Redemptor Dreadnoughts have only recently been unleashed upon the Imperium's foes. Given motion by a fallen battle brother, Redemptors are swift and utterly lethal. Adversaries are shredded apart by monstrous heavy Gatling cannon, while the starburst power of a macroplasma incinerator makes short work of enemy armor and vehicles. Okay, the Redemptor Dreadnought is 9 power level, and its points can vary depending on your upgrades. We'll go through those in a minute. First, we'll go through these statistics. So it does bracket, but it starts at movement 8, weapon skill 3 plus, ballistic skill 3 plus, strength 7, toughness 7, wounds 13, attacks 4, leadership 8, and save 3 plus. It's equipped with a heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon, a heavy flamer, 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers, and a Redemptor fist. And basically every one of those except a fist can be swapped for other things. So we'll go through its main guns. It's got a Fragstorm grenade launcher, which is D6 shots, 18-inch range, assault, strength 4, AP dash, strength 1, or damage 1. It has 2 of those. So, 2d6, not bad. I personally always switch those out with 2 Stormbolters because Dreadnoughts always shoot the full 4 shots with Stormbolters. So these guys just stomp around, just always putting 8 Stormbolter shots out, which I'm a big fan of. Heavy Flamer, we all know it. Strength 5, AP 1, automatically hits, heavy D6, 8-inch range. It's about to go up to 12-inch range. The leaks have showed us that. But I personally switched that out with the Onslaught Gatling cannon. And that is 24-inch range, heavy 6, strength 5, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. With my main gun, I take the heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon, which is 30-inch range, heavy 12, strength 5, AP 1, 1 damage. So they put out 18 strength 5 shots at minus 1, and then 8 strength 4 shots, the way I personally run them. Just lots and lots of DACA, lots of shots. They've already leaked a picture where the Onslaught Gatling cannon is actually going up to 8 shots. So it'll actually be 20 shots from the main guns and then 8 from the Stormbolters. I'm very happy about that. For 5 points, you can give it an Icarus Rocket Pod, which is 24-inch range, heavy D3, strength 5, AP minus 1, 1 damage. It adds 1 to your hit rolls for shots that against things with the fly keyword, and you subtract against things on the ground. Pretty normal. We see weapons like that all over the place. They're all right. I mean, some extra strength 7, AP 1 isn't bad, but it just depends if you have the points, because it's 5 points. So take it or leave it. You can swap the heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon for a macro plasma incinerator. It's the exact same points. They're both 30 points. It is 36-inch range, heavy D6. It is a blast, so in 9th edition, if they have 6 models, you'll get minimum 3. If they have 11 or more models, you'll get the full 6, which is kind of cool. Strength 8, minus 4 AP, 1 damage. If you supercharge it, it's strength 9, minus 4 AP, 2 damage. So it's kind of like a Hellblaster. Heavy Hellblaster, really. For each hit roll of a 1, you suffer a mortal wound. It's alright. I think there's way better things out there. Strength 9 minus 4 makes you think, oh, time to shoot vehicles, but it's only 2 damage and only D6 shots. So I think the heavy Onslaught Gatling comboed with the Onslaught Gatling and the 2 Stormbolters just for buckets of dice. That's the way I go. Ride or die, I'm running that way from now to the end, basically. And I run 3 of them, marching up the field with rerolls from Bjorn or Ragnar, and then reroll ones to wound from a battle leader. And I just dump buckets of dice. I love these guys. Now that they can move and shoot without the penalty because of 9th edition, because they're heavy weapons, they've just gotten really, really good. I would love to hear in the comments or in the discussion tab if anyone runs the macro plasma incinerator to good effect. I mean, I agree, 3 of them all shooting. You know, maybe I could focus fire on a tank. It would still take all of them to kill a tank. You know, I don't know. They just don't seem as good as the sheer amount of firepower you can put out with the heavy onslaught comboed with the onslaught and 2 stormbolters. But yeah, let's get into some stratagems and see what kind of fun plays we can do, and why personally I think they're super underrated for Space Wolves in particular. Okay, like always with Dreadnoughts, the most obvious stratagem to pay attention to for 1 CP, Duty Eternal from Psychic Awakening. Use it in any phase when a Space Wolf Dreadnought model in your army is chosen as the target for an attack until the end of the phase. You're -1 damage. It's very, very good. Very, very powerful. It never gets old. Use it as often as you want. There's also a 1 CP strat for any Space Marine vehicle to have a 5-up Feel No Pain or Shrug against mortal wounds. It's very important, depending on your opponent. If you go against Grey Knights or Thousand Sons or Tzeentch Demons, or any type of demons really, you're going to be facing a lot of mortal wounds via Smite. You put one of these fat dreadnoughts out in the front, you pop the 5-up Armor of Contempt, and you just shrug mortal wounds and tank it because you have 13 wounds. It's great. Also only 1 CP. Next one to look at is Wisdom of the Ancients for 1 CP. Basically, you select a dreadnought that's not Murderfang or a Wolfen dreadnought, and it gives them a 6-inch reroll ones to hit Captain Bubble from the dreadnought. So if you have some dreadnoughts off to one flank with no characters babysitting them, you can still get your awesome rerolls. So 1 CP, it's great. Now, this next one, I want to get into what makes these kind of special for Space Wolves. I know that Iron Hands are the favored go-to for Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I know people that love Salamander's Redemptor Dreadnoughts. There's a lot of different chapters where they really work, but what's unique about the Space Wolves is they have a 1 CP strat called Keen Senses. Choose a Space Wolves unit in your army in the shooting phase. That unit does not suffer any penalties to its hit rolls this phase. So with all the dense cover sprinkled around, there's a lot of -1 going around in 9th edition. There's also a lot of Eldari, Harlequins. You know, there's a lot of armies that just come with their own -1 to hit, whether it's flyers or Tau, you know, stealth suits, ghost keels, those type of things. And for 1 CP, one of your dreadnoughts just ignores that. I usually save that for a Leviathan Dreadnought, but a lot of times by turn 3, the Leviathan's already dead because someone shot their entire army at it. So now, it's still not a bad thing to just have 1 CP to ignore all modifiers and just dump a ton of shots into someone from all the DACA. It can really mean the difference. I mean, if you're looking down the barrel at a 20 pack of Gene Stealers and they have a Malanthrope nearby that's giving them -1 to hit, all of a sudden you pop this 1 CP strat, Keen Senses, you're ignoring modifiers, you're hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, most likely. And, you know, like I said, it's 18 shots at strength 5 -1 and then another 8 at strength 4. So ignoring that modifier is huge. So we've gone through Armor of Contempt, Keen Senses, Duty Eternal, Wisdom of the Ancients. Those are the big ones in terms of stratagems. You're not going to use too much more. Space Marines obviously don't have the act at top bracket stratagem because they already have everything else. They shouldn't have every stratagem. So I don't necessarily mind that. These guys do bracket. They start at 8 movement, so they're pretty quick at the beginning. They go down fairly quickly once they start bracketing. 13 wounds is a little strange. It would have been a lot more simple if it was 14 wounds. But yeah, it's 13 wounds. They do bracket. They lose, I believe, movement and attacks and one other thing. They go down in weapon skill and ballistic skill. So they don't go down in attack, sorry. Okay, the other thing that makes these guys special, and in my opinion, super underrated for Space Wolves, just my general thoughts on them. +1 to hit in combat if you're Space Wolves, guys. So, we're the only Redemptors in the game that hit on 2s. We come rolling in with 5 Power Fist attacks that are strength 14. We hit on 2s, strength 14, -3, d6 damage. These fists hit hard. And you can look at all the bonuses other armies have for their Redemptor Dreadnoughts, other Primaris armies. Space Wolves are the only ones that hit on 2s. From turn 3 on, we're now having exploding 6s on the rolls to hit. It's pretty nasty. These guys can actually do a ton of work. So as they move up the field, they're just spraying buckets of dice. Then they get locked into combat because they're moving 8 inches a turn. They start throwing those power fists around and just crush everything. And if whatever you're fighting happens to survive, or you're fighting a horde and they bogged you down, now you can shoot all that DACA again, just right into their face, just point blank, while in combat. It's amazing. That's pretty much how I field them, guys. I run 3. They form the backbone. It's usually a wall of 3 of them. Behind that will sit Bjorn, a battle leader for reroll 1s, and then usually a Leviathan Dreadnought. And that's like a big just wall of Dreadnoughts that walk up the field just shooting so many shots because Leviathan has the dual storm cannon array. And then usually on one flank, I have Ragnar, Murderfang, and some Wolfen Dreadnoughts with axe and shield to just form this combat ball. I recently just got 5 fully painted Wolfen. So I don't know if they'll be running with that combat ball since they can advance and charge, or if I'll outflank them with all their Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. That'll be fun. But yeah, I still go primarily Dreadnought heavy, but I'm starting to get more units. I just got 3 fully painted Eliminators with the sniper rifles. We got some Wolfen. I'm up to 25 Fenrisian Wolves to sprinkle around the field just to grab objectives and be annoying. Maybe screen for smite, things like that. Check out my last video to get all the little tactics on Fenrisian Wolves. So yeah, guys, I was lucky enough to grab 3 of the easy build boxes before they stopped making them. I recommend it greatly. These guys do work. They can now move and shoot with no penalty. They're nice and tough. The way I kit them out with dual storm bolters, Onslaught heavy Gatling cannon, and Onslaught Gatling cannon ends up being 181. So it's a little funny number, but I start every single Space Wolf list with 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I love them. They're just beefy enough that they soak up a lot of firepower and people worry about them. They focus a lot of attention on them. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about these. This is pretty much it. It was a nice short one. Not much background information on these guys. There's about 4 good stratagems that really help them function. I'll admit I tend to save those stratagems for the Leviathan, but whether you run a list like mine or you just want to add 1 Redemptor to your Space Wolves, I recommend it. They hit on 2s in combat. They really pack a punch, guys. So this is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Keep tuning in, Space Wolf fans, Sons of Russ. We will keep churning these out. I promise I'll get them in a battle report soon. I just have a lot of armies waiting their turn to get in a battle report. Yeah, Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Cheers.